Hello, Huli. Welcome. Can you hear me? No, that's all right. Let's keep it here for now. Can you guys hear me? Oops. No. Oh, all right. Good. I don't know. This is the first time I've done it, so I don't know if it's working or not. Hey, Minotaur. Okay, Larry, how y'all doing tonight? So this is my first live stream. Not expecting much. Not free flow. Speaking is not my strong point, but hopefully we can get past that here. Um, Not really sure what we want to talk about tonight. This might be a little bit different of a channel, just because I'm still in the position where I'm confident with my solution, so I'm not actively trying to figure anything out. I'm more in a debunking phase of like 9 Mile Hole and other solutions that are out there. But I'm happy to discuss anything you guys bring up or want to talk about. Um, this picture here is a picture from where I think's the spot or just close by. It's over, as some of you probably already know, is over off Soda Butte Creek by the northeast entrance. So this is facing north, and the northeast entrance station is just off north and a little bit to the right of center of this shot. Um, this was taken early October of 19 was this shot. Uh, Anything special you guys want to chat about? You guys are 9 Mile Hole believers. I'm not, obviously. I'm a Soda Butte believer. Um, I think there's a lot of problems with 9 Mile Hole. The biggest one is that I find is the 200, 500 foot thing. Um, Forrest was adamant no one had been closer than 200 feet. And we know Marty had gone up that creek, all over that place, all the way to the back where the rock area is. So she certainly, if that was the right solution, she certainly would have been within 200 feet, right? So I think that's a big problem. Um, and I think if you listen to what Jack says, certainly he said he didn't post where he found it, and um, he's also posted he thinks it should be somewhere less obvious or less known, that he ran into a searcher the last time he was searching in that area or something like that. Um, but then again, I'm of the belief that Jack has fibbed to us or lied to us a few times. I think generally he's probably told us the truth, but I think he has no choice but to lie about some things to protect himself, protect the possession of the chest, etc. Um, I don't know. See what we got here. Slough Creek, yeah, Minotaur. I've driven past it quite a few times, but I never actually went up there and searched. I was on the way to my area, but I never stopped there. Yeah, 500 makes sense, right? 200 doesn't make sense at all. Um, it's a big problem, right? And forget digging gypsy. I mean, you gotta, yeah, I don't have proof or I can't be sure, but common sense tells you that there were, a few dozen people that went up that creek, crossed the river and went up that creek. That's almost certain. And certainly those people were in communication with Forrest, telling them where they were at searching, and certainly those people would have been within 200 feet as well. I mean, just in the last month, while this has been discussed, I've heard at least 5 or 6 people say that they crossed the creek, river, and went up that creek. I mean, just then, and we're talking about, 100,000 searchers over 10 years. Certainly, the number would be very large that were up in that area and that had contacted Forrest. Um, do you believe Jack is? I definitely believe Jack is the Condor too. Absolutely, without a doubt. Um, I'll tell you what I believe. I believe Jack found it. I don't know. I can't. I'm not certain if he solved all the clues or not. I want to believe that Forrest did not nudge him. I'm more of the belief that Jack got pretty close, couldn't necessarily figure out the last couple things, searched the whole area and found it. That's where I'm leaning. I don't want to believe that Forrest nudged him. I don't think Forrest would have done that. But look, I'm not naive. Certainly, it's possible. Uh, but yeah, I think Jack's for the most part legitimate. Were there other search partners? I don't know. K Pro and Ben have all that information. I'm not privy to any of that. The FORREST FENN treasure.com website, that's another issue. I think there's certainly a lot of language on that site that's jackish, so to speak, that really dings the bell. And I think I said this in one of my videos that if the site is legit, I think at most it was a failed attempt. That's why in the middle of May the site said we got an offer because Jack knew he was going to go the 1st of June to go get it, because they were going to open up the Montana entrances to Yellowstone, and he was going to go grab it. Now let's I'm jumping around a little bit, but K-Pro's research, I think most of it is credible. I tend to buy it. I have no reason to believe that it's not true that Jack was there April 2019 in West Yellowstone. Now, let's parse that out a little bit. In April of 2019, he received the New Mexico video approximately April 18th, if I recall. And then he left the next day. Now, that implies that the video told him something. But it's my position, and I think that it's not the video. It's just coincidence that he got the video on the 18th. But the Yellowstone entrance, the West Yellowstone entrance, opened on the 19th. So I think that's why he went on that day, because it was the first day it was open. I don't think it was necessarily because of the video he received in the mail. Then you got to tell yourself, on April of 2019, the only places that you can get into in Yellowstone were along the Madison, all the way over to the canyon, then down to Old Faithful, and then up to Mammoth and over across the Cook City. So those are the only places you could access in the park at that time. So if you're a believer that it's in the park, it's very, we're down to a very fairly small area considering what we started with anyways. I mean, obviously it's still a lot of ground to cover, but it's definitely been narrowed down a lot. And then if you're not a Madison believer like myself, it really narrows down the areas it could be in. I don't know. Yeah, Jack's definitely the Condor Minotaur, I think. Yeah, I don't necessarily doubt Jack went to 9 Mile Hole. I didn't see the picture that he supposedly posted of the oil tree. I think I saw a picture of the oil tree. I mean, maybe it is the one he posted. I don't know. But he did say he searched other areas. But the timeline, certainly there's questions there. I think he said at one point the first place he searched was where he ended up finding it. So I don't know. There's a lot of gray area here, a lot of blurriness. Not being straight with us makes it difficult to figure anything out, really. So I don't know. I'm a big believer in my spot. I got the northeast entrance as my Warmor's halt, and then my home of Brown is shortly or very soon within the gates, about 300 feet on the right. Oil tree. Apparently, there was a tree that had I don't even know if it's the word oil. It's a carving of OIL in front of it, and somewhere in the 9 Mile Hole area. and I guess Jack had posted a picture of it. I don't know, on Reddit, and K-Pro went out there and saw the tree and took a picture or something like that. But that's the gist of the oil thing. I think it was, they did that in the video the other night. I only watched some of it, but what else? So yeah, I'm not a big conspiracy person generally with anything, but with the chase, I'm not either. I think he found it, and that's pretty much it. Maybe that's naive, you know. I think it's just the evidence points to that. We know he was a searcher. You know, he called AGK a couple years ago, used the same email address we have today for him. So he's a legitimate searcher. He's been posting on Reddit for years about the chase since 2018. So I have no reason to believe he didn't find it. And I don't really have any reason to believe Forrest would have told them where to go. I mean, you know, we know Forrest was thinking about canceling the chase at the end of December or early December of what, 2019. So this theory that Jack had found the treasure April of 2019, if that is true, I don't think there's any way he told Forrest. I really don't. Because that would be risking Jack having to take possession earlier than he wanted, right? I think what Jack did, if it's all true that he did go to Santa Fe, he probably just went to get some attorneys and figure out what to do. Maybe the attorneys, and I think K-Pro or somebody was talking about this, maybe the attorneys recommended doing the website. I don't know. But I don't think Forrest was involved. And for what it's worth, you know, you can believe me or not, but I have no reason to lie. I sent an email to Carl Summer, and he said he was not familiar with the website. His exact words were, "I'm not familiar with the site or with that site." So, you know, whether that means anything or not, I don't know. Of course, he could be, you know, he could not be telling the truth, perhaps. But I believe him. Why not? So I don't think, you know, Forrest had anything to do with that site. Now I had a thought, what if, you know, all this time to sell the chest, there's a lot of theories why it's taking so long. You know, legal problems, it was in Yellowstone, some other reasons. But what if, you know, those last words to Forrest, I think I posted this somewhere today or yesterday, but those last words from Forrest where the guy was kicking up dust and he was watering the dust by the dude and said he felt diabolical. Because what if he did something to make the sale of the chest more difficult for Jack? Is that a possibility? I don't know. I mean, it's possible, I guess, right? I don't know. It's just a thought. What we got here? Oh yeah. No, Jack moved the chest chase. If he moved it, he had the chase. Yeah, but I don't know. I mean, if I know where the chest is, if I actually saw it with my eyes and I decided to leave it out there, I mean, I wouldn't tell Forrest. What do I need at that point? What do I need him for? Right? You're right. He is in control at that point. So why even let Forrest know? Why rock the boat? It's kind of how I look at it. I mean, I don't think I would say a word. If I mean, I would never have left it out there to begin with. I mean, I think that's totally insane. But if I did leave it out there, with the thought process of, you know, I'm going to go to Puerto Rico and do all the stuff, I definitely would not have said anything about it, I don't think. But who knows? Maybe, you know, it's hard to say. On my whole, hey Rob. Well, you know, I don't know. The Yellowstone abandonment possession thing, if he has Forrest's direct permission to take it, that would be support for him not having to turn it into the superintendent, right? Maybe. I don't know. Rob G, I gave you credit today on a post. I credit you all the time with that purple sweater thing. For those here in the chat that don't know, Rob G came up with this theory that, you know how on the Too Far to Walk map, the MPS section is purple. Well, that's why Forrest always wore the purple sweater. It was a hint that it was at the park. And I think that's a great call by Rob G. So well done. So that's kind of where I'm at with things, guys. What you guys got anything? Any theories? Any ranting you want to do? Call out someone? This, whenever I do this, it's pretty open. You just guys say what you want. I mean, I'm not inclined to have a moderator at all. I don't really care as long as you don't, rip on someone too bad or bring it back to them. Yeah, right. Yeah, I don't know if he would have done that right away though, because he needed time to establish residency and all that, right, in Puerto Rico. But who knows? I mean, for all we know, yeah, he has student loans, but for all we know, he had money. I mean, it's an assumption on our part that he did the Puerto Rico thing only for the chest. But I mean, maybe that was a plan he already had. I mean, he said he dabbled in some kind of futures or something. I mean, he might have had some money already. Who knows? I don't know. But yeah, I mean, it's likely it's because of the chest, but it's just another option in a terrible confirmation kind of way. Yeah. Yeah, I know you like those. Wasn't part of my solution, but not to say, it's right or wrong. I'm a supporter of the straightforward, simple solution. You start at point A where warm waters halt, you go to point B, C, D, etc., until you get to the chest. I think it's pretty straightforward. I don't think you do anything with the poem. I don't think it's hidden words. I don't think you read it backwards or flip words around or put it in the mirror or do anything like that. No ciphers. I think you just find where warm waters halt. You drive canyon down and park at Home of Brown. You get out and you do the rest of the poem, just like a treasure map, right? I mean, have you guys ever seen City Slickers? It's like, go to the hand that points to the east, and he looks up and there's a rock that's shaped like a hand. I mean, it's kind of like that. I think it's just a point-to-point solution. It's the key is understanding Forrest's perspective on the places he's writing about. That's what's important. Don't trust Jack. Oh, he decided he found it. Oh, I think he said he found it on the 5th, Minotaur, on Friday the 5th, right? Because that's the day the postmark in the book. And then Fenn went public on the 6th. Right? I think that's how it went down. And the 5th, yeah, I saw the K Pro Cal LLC thing on the June 5th. I mean, I don't think there's anything there, but I just thought I'd throw that out there. Again, I'm not really into these conspiracies. Certainly, I don't think K Pro might have anything to do with anything as far as the find. Yeah, right. I mean, yeah. So Minotaur, you're saying you think he found it in April or sometime in 2019, and it's very possible he did. I mean, look, that's one of the things that's weird about the website, right? The website kind of follows the timeline somewhat. It says it was found August 2019, and then they moved it to a different location within the borders of the same type of land. I mean, that almost screams national park, right? Yeah, and there's language on that website that talks about how impressive it was that Forrest kept a secret. And that's something exactly that Jack said later on, right? So it's even using the same type of language. Everyone's stuck with their own bias, stumbling around hoping to find a solution. Yeah, okay, Larry, certainly. And hey, I'm number one in that line, right? I mean, I'm not going off myself. If someone can show me an objective reasons through Fenn's words or his writing that I'm wrong, I'm happy to change, but I haven't seen anyone do that. And as to why, for instance, something I said about 9 Mile Hole about the 200 searcher, If something like that was presented to me for myself, I'd abandon it immediately. Because that 200 searcher thing for 9 Mile Hole for me summarily dismisses that location. Because I think to get through this, you have to think in the generalities for the most part. Because if you start thinking in exceptions, you're going to drive yourself nuts, because everything has an exception. The exceptions have exceptions. So you've got to really think generally speaking. So yeah, could the chest be 200 feet out to the east or west of that creek in the middle of nowhere, not even near water? Yeah, but is that likely? No, it's not likely. We know FORREST would want to be near water. I mean, and did you see that terrain? People think FORREST is freaking Superman. No 80-year-old's walking through that deadfall. I'm sorry. He's not doing that. That was rough terrain. And even for FORREST, the mighty FORREST FENN, that would have been a very difficult walk for him at 80 years old. You know, I don't understand this top chat and live chat. Who uses top chat? Does anybody use top chat? Use live chat. I mean, who's Google or who's YouTube to tell me what the top chat is? I want to see everyone chat. We got 11, not bad for, hey, you know, 11 out of 50 subscribers. What's that, 20%? It's not bad. It's a pretty good ratio for an unannounced first Zoom. So what's everyone in it for now? Trying to find the solution, the story, all of it. What are you guys sticking around for? I mean, I'm sticking around for the solution. I mean, the story would be cool, but I want the spot to be known, and you know, whether I'm just crazy wrong or if I was right. I'm a firm believer in, of course, this allows this confirmation bias. I understand, but I'm a firm believer in that toe-to-toe meant that there was someone else, and that had been bandied about for months before that toe-to-toe came out. Since the fall of 2019, people were saying that there were more than one person was close, and I think that's exactly what toe-to-toe meant. I think I can objectively prove one object search bar. Yeah, Minotaur, I don't disagree. I mean, he certainly could have searched 9 Mile Hole. I don't, you know, I don't, I'm not going to argue that too much. I think there's certainly evidence he was in that area. I mean, he even said my stretch of the Madison between, you know, 7 and 9 Mile Hole. So yeah, I think that's not a leap to say that he was searching that area. I just don't think that's where he found the chest. If you go back in this conversation with AGK, in the transcript, you'll see, or just watch the video, that he agreed with Toby that he thinks it's going to be the locations at a place that was not discussed by Fenn. He said that in his conversation with Toby, right? And it also, you know, he discussed how it would be somewhere where it's less obvious, where with less people. You know, he's talking about alone, guys, alone. I mean, 9 Mile Hole, sorry, there's not alone there. Even 500 feet in the creek, or past the creek, I'm sorry, up the creek, past, you know, crossing the river, even 500 feet, it's not alone in there. I just don't, and people point to that, the part where they go in there with his grandfather, there's only room for one. But it's a fishing hole, right? I mean, there's room for one, but you can stand right next to him. And that was where he went with his grandfather. He didn't go alone there, right? What did Jack say? Think of the places he went alone. Now, I'm kind of, again, I'm jumping around. I tend to do that, so sorry, but because I get worked up. But the chase has themes, right? So there's 3 or 4 main themes. One, even, and Jack said it, alone. Anytime FORREST mentions being alone, either in a book or in a scrapbook, not counting My War for Me, because My War for Me is kind of its own thing. Okay, I mean, yes, it's part of the book, but I also agree with Jack. There's nothing in the text that's a hint there. And notice Jack said in the text, right, in his Reddit post. So what's in My War for Me? Page 99, but that's not part of the text. So that implies that the non-text areas might have a hint. But anyways, back to the themes. Alone. Anytime he talks about being alone, he's talking about the location. You can see that. Well, I mean, you have to believe that that's what that is. But there's a few scrapbooks where he talks about being alone. One that pops in my head is the one with the. He's. Oh, did you guys lose me? When Peggy was gone and he's going through the spice rack and he's explaining all the different spices. To me, all those spice explanations, most of them have hints there. He talks about one's worth looking at more closely, or one is worth investigating. He's telling you got to go check that out because it's part of the solution, right? That's how I read that. There's another scrapbook where he's leaning against a rock wall, and the language at the bottom talks about when Forrest is alone. He likes to think of so and so and so and so. Another theme is church, right? So church, anytime he talks about church or religion or something like that, he's talking about the spot, right? Because the church is his mountains is his church, right? So anytime, so for instance, the no place for biddies, it's at a church social. So that is about the area, the location. And to me, no place for biddies is no place for the meek. You have to cross the street. That's the clue, right? So after you put in a Homer Brown, no place for the meek is crossing the street right there in front of the Northeast Entrance Station. That's why you can't be meek, because there's cameras, there's rangers, there's a ton of people driving, there's people living up above you. So that's no place for the meek. And then the third, what's the other theme? Oh, here's another one. Forget. Alone, church. Well, it'll come back to me. I can justify everything at 9 Mile. Good night, okay, Larry. I can justify everything at 9 Mile Home for clues minus HOB. I still don't see how. Yeah, I think also the police outside my house rattled me. Yeah, Holy, I saw that. I saw you post that yesterday. Minotaur HOB. Yeah, I mean, I think that's another problem because it's put in below, but yet they're putting in the parking area, and that's above what they consider the Homer Brown. And Homer Brown, what they consider the honey hole, is specialized knowledge. No one would know that, right? So I think there's lots of problems. What about when Forrest said they figured out the first two clues and walked by the next seven or something to that effect? But he definitely used walked. I know he's also used drive, but he's used walked at least once. So what does that mean? Does that mean someone walked all the way from Madison Junction 4.5 miles? A couple search partners walked past and then just kept on walking? I mean, it doesn't make any sense whatsoever, right? Moisturize, thanks. Yeah, this is from my spot. I think you just came in off of Soda Butte Creek. That's the creek you can see just in there off in the distance a little bit. It's facing north towards Highway 212, which is through those trees right there. Huli asked, what do you guys think of tears? I think that's what we all had on June 6th. I mean, you guys like trout for Homer Brown? I don't. I don't, because that's not part of my solution. But for me, brown is if you look it up, the official colors of the park. There's a whole booklet on it, right? And I mean, I was shocked. I had no idea this was even a thing. But there's all these official colors for signs and everything, right? For buildings, signs, parking areas, whatever. One of those colors, one of the prominent colors, is brown, officially called brown, or MPS brown. And the brown would be capitalized. Now you'd say, Chase, that is specialized knowledge. But perhaps But to us, brown is brown, right? So we still know the color brown. So even though technically a specialized knowledge, it's not, because we know brown. That's all we would need to know. We don't really need to know the capitalization because all those buildings are brown. I feel meh about it. About tears, you feel meh? Forrest grin face, yeah. Yeah, I mean, when I read when you posted that, Rob, I was like, wow, he's dead on. I mean, I thought that was a great observation. And no one, see, this is the thing. No one is impressed with anything, right? I mean, to me, that's like ding, 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 ding. But no one else says anything, Rob. This is what's so difficult for me in the chase. Um, and I feel like I've come up with a lot of those things, and it just no one. It doesn't. It's not even impressing. It doesn't sway anybody, right? Like the 200-foot thing at 9 Mile Hole, for instance. Um, the rectangle. Okay, I'm never going to show up at them on my tombstone, on my gravestone. Is going to say page 99. The little rectangle, people. Now, see, this is one reason I like having a Zoom, because all those things I want to yell at the screen when people are chatting and I can't get in and they don't read my comments. Now I can say on myself on my own channel. Um, the page 99 rectangle, people. Okay. There is no question it says something. Now, a lot of people say, yeah, it says something, but then they that's it. They just leave it at that. Why are people trying to figure out what it says? That's what I'm dying to find out. Why won't people look at it, blow it up, try to figure out what it says? There is without a doubt letters in there, without a doubt. And to me, and I've said it before, it says SOBCREK and the number 50. And in fact, I even showed my 9-year-old 2 days ago. Do you see something here? She said 50. I mean, it's so clearly there, but yet nobody wants to either acknowledge it or commit to it. Or I don't know. I mean, I'm certainly not making this up. It's in there, guys. Please look at it on your own. But no one will. I'm pleading, and no one will do it. This is what I don't get. Vertigo. I had it out with Vertigo a couple times on Thor. Posted a passage from an old book that described hidden magical secret pond. Buck. Who's Buck? Oh, right here. Buck Turgeson. Hello, Buck. Welcome. But guys, the rectangle, I mean, that would answer everything. If I'm right about the rectangle, it certainly it'll tell you why Jack was able to get out there in 3 weeks in the general location, or a month, or whatever it was. Um, you know, tight focus with a word that is key, that tight focus. You need a magnifying glass to read it. The magnifying glass, he said you needed a magnifying glass to read the autobiography. But it was curious, wasn't it, that when Barbarisi went to look at the chest, he had to promise Jack that he wouldn't reveal whatever words he made out from the autobiography rolled up inside the glass jar. Well, and Barbarisi, in fact, acknowledged that he was able to read some of the words that were in the biography. So, if that's the case, you don't need a magnifying glass to read it. I mean, because it's rolled up inside out through a glass, and he was still able to make out some words. So why in the world would you need a magnifying glass? In my opinion, he's telling you it's a hint. The magnifying glass is a hint because you need it for that rectangle on page 99. What makes a pond magical? It's a wishing pond? I don't know. As a reader, you're not obligated to understand what you read. I guess obligated is a strong word. I mean, if you want, I mean, some people may not feel obligated to understand everything they read. might not know something and just skip it, gloss over it. Um, you guys got, what do you guys got? I've been rambling for a little while here. I'd like to see, does anybody have a spot they'd like to say where it's at? Rob, where's your spot, man? Needed to wait until June 5th to announce his fine for some reason. Well, it matches the postmark in the book. That's one reason, right, Minotaur? Uh, yeah, I mean, look, Jack definitely could have found it. I don't know where I fall on that. Uh, you know, God, that is, I mean, look, maybe that's one reason we don't have the story, because think about it. If it's true that Jack found it in 2019, I mean, what kind of liability he's going to have for those people, that guy that died in Yellowstone, right? Um, Perhaps that's one reason he's never going to reveal where he got it or tell us the true story. Maybe the family could have some kind of suit against him for, I don't know. I mean, I'm just spitballing here. That would be one hell of a lawsuit. Uh, See spot run. Hey, Godelkin. Not sure what you mean by that. I don't know. The guy that died in 2020. Yes, exactly, Minotaur. So that could be a reason that we don't have. We're never going to get the whole story because of the death that happened in 2020. Um, that's serious. I mean, that could be. They could have a major suit. Gallatin County border. Okay, gotcha. All the rules don't die super sad, but not to blame the chase. Oh, I agree. I agree, Hooli. But it doesn't mean, you don't. We know how people are. I mean, you got people suing, suing whoever, the estate or Jack, because they think a song with Taylor Swift or something. I mean, come on, man. If that had happened, certainly a family that lost a loved one would be willing to sue. People are out there, it's crazy. 90 before you. It's unforgivable if you found it. Yeah, I mean, that's right, Alan. I mean, look, I could never have the discipline to leave that out there. If I had it, there's no way. I mean, no way. That, I mean, just that alone, I'm not sure what it tells me about Jack, but if he did do that, it's got to say something about his character. I mean, that is like, I don't know, man, ice cold and running through his veins or something to be able to do that. Um, and then maybe that's true. Maybe that's why he kept going on there to keep checking on the chest, although it doesn't really make sense, right? Because why check on it? If it's gone, you're screwed. So it doesn't even matter if it's, and if it's there, it's there. So there's really no reason to go check on it once you found it. The only reason you go back out there is to grab it. Um, Shaped like a key on Google Maps. All right. Wow. Yeah, I think, yeah, Buck, perhaps. I mean, he talked with Toby, I think one of those calls, anyways, was June of 2019. I think that's the one where he references that he thinks it would be a spot where Fenn hasn't talked about. On how K-Pro and Ben know this isn't, I'm not dissing Christy or Ben, but I feel like we've been teased a few times about that information. Have never really been given it unless I've missed it. And also, apparently Jack went somewhere before he got to Yellowstone that Christy said would be embarrassing. I don't know if that's been revealed either. But yeah, I mean, I don't think it was to meet Fenn. If it's true he went to Santa Fe, I don't think it was meet Forrest. I think it's more likely that if he'd found it, he just went to go talk to some lawyers in Santa Fe. Now, why Santa Fe? right? Why? I guess maybe that's where Forrest is at, and it just makes things easier because Forrest's attorney is there, right? And he figured, well, I'll get an attorney in Santa Fe as well. So that could be why he went to Santa Fe. I don't think he, I tend to believe Forrest when he says uh, the finder had not communicated with him since 2018, or no, he said I had not communicated with the finder. So that's not to say Jack didn't send him an email or two. It's just saying Forrest never replied or spoke to him on the phone or in person, and I tend to believe that. Um, I'm really giving Forrest the benefit of the doubt on a lot of this. I think Forrest had his fun, and he ribbed people, and I think when he talked to people in private, 99% of the time he's messing with them and not giving them real hints. I think maybe the only real hint he gave was to Cynthia when he told her, uh, and I believe Cynthia when she said it, that he told her that he hid the chest when he was at an event in Cody. I think that, and yeah, of course that's biased for me, but I I feel that was a legit hint. And I think those were few and far between, if any other ones at all, like real helpful hints. That one's real helpful. I mean, she was in New Mexico, so that was definitely a helpful hint. She came up to Wyoming after that. Uh, weird. Sure did sound nervously confident. Patients gave them a couple 100,000. Typically, have to per worth the wait. Yeah, definitely. I mean, definitely worth it. It's just that's a lot of, I mean, not just patience, but it's risky. I mean, yeah, you say, well, no one's found it in 10 years. No one's going to find it now, especially if I move it away from where the poem leads. But still, I mean, that's a lot of, a couple $1 million is sitting there. It's a risk. I mean, shit, maybe a bear digs it up or something. Who knows? Anything could happen out in the woods. So that's a major risk. Um, maybe I don't know. No, that doesn't make sense. Maybe I was gonna say maybe Jack figures something out that he knew was correct, but yet still didn't find the chest. Was so confident that he knew he was going to get it. I mean, I guess that's possible. I mean, look, if I'm being honest, I actually did a few prep things like I was going to find the chest. So, I mean, he did find it. So I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility to believe he did stuff even though he hadn't found it yet. He didn't just take it home and pretend he hid it elsewhere. Well, sure, he could have taken it. Yeah, he could have taken it and then just pretend he went and got it on June 5th. I mean, that's risky too. Now you're traveling with the chest from, where from Wyoming over to Michigan or Philadelphia, wherever he's at, and then bringing the chest back to Santa Fe. So that's risky in and of itself. But yeah, it's a possibility. Completely disagree on all fronts. I'm not sure what Hooley was saying. Sure did sound nervously confident. About the guy dying. Yeah, I mean, look, there's got to be accountability, but if Jack has the chest, that guy's not going out there. Well, presumably, we say that, but look what's going on now. Over a year removed, and we still have people out there in the woods looking for shit. So, I mean, I guess we shouldn't just assume the guy wouldn't have been searching if Jack had found the treasure, because we have no less than 10 or 20 people out there at 9 Mile Hole looking around. Um, searchers, we're a weird lot, man. Let me tell you, we are. I mean, I'm right up there with everyone else. It's we're wild, we're crazy. Um, the Toby Collin, yeah, the chest wasn't marketed. You mean for sale, moisturized after it was found? I mean, yeah. I mean, I heard Adam Foddy and Ben talking about there's been a $10 million figure thrown around that Jack's holding out for. I mean, dude, no, nobody's paying $10 million for that chest. I mean, nobody cares. Only us searchers, and I mean, the number of searchers that could afford $10 million is, I'm not saying it's zero, but it's very small. I'm sure. I mean, so I don't know. I mean, all this talk about these huge numbers, I don't think is merited. People just don't care. People, it's our little world here, so we think it's the most important thing in the world. But outside of our little community, I mean, here we are a year and a half later. At most, on the biggest of days, we have 300 people in a Zoom. I mean, that's it. That's all that's left, guys, for the most part. No one else is really following. Maybe some people on Facebook that don't come on YouTube. So let's round that up, maybe 1,000 people that are still hanging around here. I mean, no one else cares. So no, Jack's never going to get $10 million. I mean, I'd be totally floored. I think 1 to 2 million is a realistic goal, maybe three, but that's pushing the limits at three, I think. Yeah, that too, Minotaur. I mean, give me the solution, dude. I'm not going to give you $10 million for just a chest and no solution. I mean, that's what we want. And the Smithsonian, look, love Forrest, and it's the greatest treasure hunt of all time, but this is not Smithsonian worthy, people. I mean, it's just not. We got rockets that have been to the moon. We got, the plane from Kitty Hawk, the Wright brothers. This is not on the level of any of that stuff. But I could be wrong. I'm not a museum curator or anything, so I could be wrong, but I don't see it. Again, no one cares except our small little community, right? Nobody knows. I'm on the East Coast. I have asked since I got into this over 3 years ago. I have asked no less than 50 people if they've ever heard of the chest. Not a single one have heard of Forrest's name or of the hunt or anything. Not a one. Even when I was in Wyoming, people didn't hear about it. Of the people I asked while I was in Wyoming, only 2 people told me they had heard of the chest. So this is really small, right? But hey, if they can get it into a museum, that's great. Just I don't get one. Yeah, no Smithsonian, but no way. Yeah, Salamander. I've been giving it the benefit of the doubt. I've been saying earlier, I believe the narrative for the most part. I think I certainly agree. There's some sketchy things, but I tend to believe it. Pretty much still. Oh yeah, Minotaur. Forget it. I mean, people who aren't searchers. I mean, my mom thinks I'm crazy. She thinks it's a fake. Oh, the old man was just playing with everyone, having fun with everybody. He's rich, eccentric. Da, da, da. Yeah, yeah. I think that's pretty common. Searchers' families. I mean, look at Shy Guy. I'm not gonna get into it too much, but he was saying he's trying to get his family to believe him. They don't believe him, right? No one believes. No one believes us, right? Not just Shy Guy. No one believes anybody. So yeah. My mom completely thinks it was a hoax. She thought it was never put out there to begin with, and I'm crazy for spending money and taking the trip to go out there searching. I mean, I went out there 8 times total over the years, and I'm glad I went. I had a blast. So whatever. What else? You guys got anything else you want to discuss? Came on. I thought it was a good night. Nobody else was on, at least not that I know of. I don't know. I hope Bill's not on. I'm not sure what nights he goes on. All right, guys, check out the rectangle. SOB, right? How did Forrest sign off to Dale with that letter or the email? The chest has been found. SOB. Huh? He wasn't crying. He wasn't cursing. He was telling you so to Butte. I'm telling you, folks, look into it. All you gotta do is look into it. What is the great unsolved mystery of this family? Oh, his family. Fenn? Clue? What is the great unsolved mystery of his family? I don't know. I mean, with no problem else talking about. Yeah, fantastic. Yeah, yeah, of course. I think the Minotaur was saying that as well. I mean, who's going to pay that type of premium without a solution? That's what everyone. I mean, that's what we want. I mean, yeah. Oh, the ball of string. Well, I have my theory on the ball of string, and I'll tell you. I think you already heard it, but or seen it on my videos. But the ball of string to me is a metaphor for the chest, right? He's talking about how he was collecting pieces of string over the years, and he got it so big um, that it wouldn't fit through his door, and then one day it was just gone. Well, it's the same as the chest, right? He's collecting pieces of artifacts and pieces of gold and adding to the chest and making it bigger and better over the years. And then one day it was just gone when Jack took it. I think it's the same. I think it's a metaphor for that. And the part about it being too big to pull out of his door, to me, and I've stated this as well. I think the chest was sitting at the bottom of a hollowed out tree. It was tight fitting, um, and that's what he's talking about. He couldn't get out the door. The chest was difficult to just pull out from under the tree, and that tight fitting theme. That's another theme. We were talking about themes earlier. Tight fit, so you can see that all over the place. Um, there's going to be more than I can remember, but one is the John Charles olives stuck in the olive jar, like they were placed one at a time. Right, he's telling you it barely fits. The Great Bet, how the liquid looks like it barely fits in the bottle. Uh, the canopy of the jet, when his head stuck and is banging his helmet on the canopy of the jet, is a tight fit. Um, the tight fitting boots, right, that are in the scrapbook. There's a lot of references to tight fitting. Then there's another theme, feet, especially towards the end in the scrapbooks. Lots of talk about feet. I think trees are represented by several things to forest, and depending on the context of the story he's telling us. I think feet slash legs are trees, are pine trees, right? He kept talking about putting under the footing of the cabin or talking about feet in the last, I don't know, 20 scrapbooks or so. Go back and look. You'll see there's a lot of feet references. I think trees are also people, and I think trees are also grave markers. Um, just depends on the context of the story. Um, is there anything else in chat? Hang on if you want. Kind of hit a thinking pause. I think, I don't know. I kind of went blank there for a minute. I was on a roll. um, oh, and the down tree. I mean, that clearly is part of it too. I mean, even Jack has said as much. Uh, look at page 99. There's a stump with an arrow pointing down. Towards the end on the scrapbooks, Forrest wrote about trees. The juniper stump. Someone looked like it cut all the arms off. What does that mean? It's a farewell to arms, which goes back to the thrill of the chase. The reverence for wood. He talks about, look at the cover of Reverence for Wood. It's a tree stump with a fallen tree. And how is that damaged? Suddenly damaged by lightning, right? And that lightning is a tie-in to Vietnam Operation Arclight. The spot is a Vietnam spot. It's not a fishing spot. Now, he may have fished there, certainly, but the reason it's so special is related to Vietnam. Okay. Um, I don't know what else. My comments have slowed down. Everyone's done chatting over here. Anything else you want to chat about? So what do you think of his mom looking out the window? Oh, perfect. Thanks, Gene. Okay, this is another, because it's so obvious. Like Jack's right. There sometimes things just are coincidences, right? And it's almost an art to determine. Certainly in the chase, it's an art to determine what's coincidence and what's not. I mean, that's hard. That can be really hard, especially when confirmation bias gets in the way of clear thinking. Um, but the window comment, I've told someone this before, and I think it's one of those, to me, like my 265, which I'll talk about, I guess. To me, this is one of those things we say it's obviously Yellowstone, and I'll explain why. So the windows, you have one comment. He's talking about his mom or grandma looking out the window, looking at the Indians chasing the chickens, right? Then in another comment or another window, he talks about the window at school. He looks out the window and he sees the brown fire escape or something like that. Then he has the window outside the window. He has the train tracks. Then he has another part where he talks about the window, somewhere a window would break in Mississippi. And I think I'm missing one, but what does all that mean, right? It seems random, but it's not. So when you look at the window where the Indians are chasing the chickens, the east entrance of Yellowstone, Pahaska Teepee, Indians. Okay. The dirty brown fire escape window, that's the north entrance, Devil Slide. The window with the railroad tracks, that's West Yellowstone entrance because it has the railroad there. And then the window breaking somewhere in Mississippi, the capital of Mississippi is Jackson. The southern entrance of the park is Jackson. So that kind of correlation in the book is undeniable to me. And these are the things I struggle with. I don't know how anybody, could deny that when it's presented that way. I don't know. Help me understand. I mean, I'm not calling anyone names or anything. I just have problem understanding how that's not someone doesn't hear that and just say, oh yeah, for sure, done, and never thinks outside Yellowstone again, right? Because to me it has that kind of aha moment. The other one, my Yellowstone aha moment, is the number 265, right? Forrest has drilled that in our heads forever. Everything he said, that probably almost more than anything he said in the chase. There's 265 gold coins in the chest. There's 265 gold coins in the chest. The 265th day of the year is September 22nd. Okay. September 22nd is the last day of summer, first day of the fall, the autumnal equinox. That's not a coincidence. And why is that important? Because he hit it in Yellowstone, because at the end, his summers were spent in Yellowstone. The last day of summer symbolizes the end of his time in Yellowstone. That's why it correlates with each other. That's why that tells you it's in Yellowstone beyond a doubt, beyond a shadow of a doubt. And how that's another thing, how anyone can hear that and say it's outside Yellowstone is a shocker to me. It really is. I mean, it's just so obvious. But I don't know. Maybe for those that don't believe that it's in Yellowstone, tell me why those two things don't tell you it's in Yellowstone automatically. I mean, I don't know. These are the things I have trouble with, severe trouble understanding. I mean, am I crazy? What? Um, anyway, so those two things to me are just dead giveaways, Yellowstone Park. So, and I think nearly everything he wrote about, certainly in the scrapbooks, have clues. I mean, I'll just say Jack's flat out wrong, or he's lying about that. Those scrapbooks have clues 100%, 100%. So I don't know which it is, but Salamander. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I agree. I mean, they're worth more, the spot value at least. But yeah, I mean, I think they have some value above that. I mean, I'm not a professional. I don't know. The story peeing in the gas tank. Um, no, I don't have much thought on that story. Sorry guys, I had to mute there for a minute. The pig in the gas tank. I don't recall that one, Gedelkin. And it's funny. I just got a oh, and another. I don't know if it's so much of a theme, but a rock wall. Okay, I think a rock wall. There's a rock wall in the solution. Here in my photo, that's my screenshot or my background, whatever. Off right center, there's some pine. You can't even see it, but that's a rock wall over there. Um, and I think that's definitely in the solution. If the solution doesn't have a rock wall, it's incorrect to me. Um, and I think that goes. You see the rock wall in that scrapbook where he's alone. I think it's scrapbook 17. He's got the rock wall on the back of his house. Um, he has other scrapbooks that show the rock wall in the front of a church, in front of the Gaspard's, I think, drawings church, or Olga Svoboda's father's drawing, sorry, of the church. And there's a rock wall in the front. I mean, these are how he conveyed the hints. Church is his spot, like we already said. So he posts a scrapbook of a church with a rock wall in front of it. Not to mention that all the drawings in the book are Rockwell ripoffs, and and the plane is Rockwell, right? And some of the stuff I've said in my video, so if you've heard it, I'm sorry, but and look at where Cynthia asked him to autograph where there are hints. Where did he autograph? He autographed page 99, and he autographed the one with the plane that says Rockwell. So I think a Rockwell is a for sure in the solution. Fenn sense mind traps throughout. Oh yeah. 3 strings per day and square knots, which don't work. Those are the kind of stuff I want to understand. 9 Mile Hole Island spot. Yeah, I mean, sure. This is the way I kind of, and again, I understand confirmation, but for any location, because there's so much material out there that Forrest put out, so much in the books, 250 scrapbooks, rumblings and ramblings, which however it's titled, interviews, right? So any spot we pick, we'll be able to pick out a few things here and there. No doubt about it. Doesn't matter where it is. I could go to Alaska and pick out some things that fit any spot in Alaska, right? But it's almost comes to quantity. I mean, I think the right spot, it's all going to fit together, not just a couple, 2 or 3 things. All of it's going to fit. Nottingham Head, Washington Postman, and P in the gas tank. It's the same object. Peter Filler created the Pony Express sculpture hard fence. Yeah, on the everything fitting together Minotaur. Yeah. You know, and again, I think my solution, everything fits. I mean, I'm going to keep saying it. I told my friend, I have one friend in the chase. I told this person I'm going to crank up my roostering because I was so upset with what's been going on and with 9 Mile Hole that, I guess it's my turn. I waited 1.5 years. I'm tired of being reasonable and mellow, and I'm going to start peacocking and yelling how I know where the place is. And I say it tongue in cheek, although there is some truth to it. I don't, because I can look at anyone else's solve that I've seen. Because one strength I think I have, and I'm not trying to be cocky, but I know my Fenn shit pretty well. Okay, I mean I know the quotes very well off the top of my head. And if I don't know them, I say so. I'm not one of these arrogant guys that are just going to quote something and say I'm right when I'm not sure. And anything I see, I can pull up with some things that are contrary or don't necessarily fit or make you think twice. But I can't do that with mine. And I've tried to falsify mine for years, right? And I haven't been able to. But I do think F did it that way, though. I think he sprinkled a few words that justify the spot for beginning. He wrote so many other words for us to also use. Yeah. You think, yeah. Everything fit in my first two solves, unfortunately, in New Mexico. Right? Yeah. See that that's a big one there, Buck. Yeah. I mean, at least you're reasonable enough to say it's, if Forrest had come out and said we agreed to say it was in Colorado, I'd be done. Okay. I mean, I don't buy this. The way he worded it is fishy. He ended up saying it in court, and I don't buy that he was going to die, so he would lie under oath. I just don't buy that. Right. I mean, it's convenient to say that, but I just don't agree. I think he took, there's that scrapbook where he talks about his oath uh, in court, and he had to withdraw or he was going to withdraw his oath if he wasn't allowed to fully tell what he believed to be true. So he took that seriously. So I don't see him committing a felony uh, in a court of law. I mean, that's not maverick. That's committing a felony. uh, let's see. What else you got, guys? What else you got? What else I want to chat about? The blaze. You guys think it's a tree? I mean, it's pretty much tree or rock, right? There's not a whole lot of other stuff it could be at this point. No one. You slowing down? How do you tell here how long you've been on? It's been an hour? I don't know. Your third year, you went to Yellowstone, Buck? Beautiful up there. An untipped waiter, right? Untipped. So that's a tree right before it falls, maybe, right? I don't know. Just thinking. Yeah, holy. That's that. Yeah, that's a thing. Um, yeah, I know. Untipped waiter, Godelkin. That's interesting. Yeah. Um, that reminds me of the line. We should have buried him standing up, right? Skippy. That to me is a reference to Forrest being entombed. So again, under my theory, there's a tree stump that's hollowed out from a lightning strike that split the tree. And Forrest's idea was to be entombed in that stump, to be inside of it. That's part of, and that's also a theme is showers, right? And tubs and baths. All that represents rebirth and dying, right? So the tree stump, he talks about shower. That's what he's talking about. When he's washing himself in his house in front of everyone in the living room, he's got his feet curled up and he's inside the tub, right? The 3-foot tub and tea with Olga. So we have showers and tubs are also a theme throughout the writings. HOB Golden Eagle's Nest. Yeah, I thought early on about an eagle's nest, Buck. Um, I don't think so at this point, but uh, you know, what's what's uh what's brown though? So I guess if it's home of brown, what part of it is the brown? The golden? I don't know. Well, what do you guys think about all the drama going on, huh? Oh, That's a nice little synopsis there, Minotaur. Yeah, I think this the utter peak here was around 2018, right? Right when YouTube just the bubble burst, I guess, so to speak, right? All the drama really started going on, getting on YouTube, fights between tubers. We all know who. I mean, we don't need to name anybody, but some of those tubers are gone, some are still around. Drama sucks, but I'm not gonna lie. I tune in, I get the popcorn, I see what's going on. I'm interested. I'll be honest. I mean, I'm not causing it, and I'm not involved in it, so whatever. I mean, look, yeah. I mean, Fenn passing was just the worst in all kinds of ways, right? I mean, certainly, obviously, we don't want him to pass, but as far as the chase goes, it just was horrible, right? I mean, we lose our one contact to at least partial truth, right? Uh, yeah, that's tough. Hey, Seamus, what's up, buddy? Good to see you. The good hints is where he mentions the untipped waiter again in the book. I mean, yeah, I mean that could definitely be a hint. I didn't spend much time on the untipped waiter part though, Gene. Yeah, people, yeah, holy people they get carried away with these conspiracies. I mean, shy guys rabbit holes are just way out there. I mean, there's no reason, there's no evidence to think any of that is accurate. I mean, at least not for me. Okay, I mean, to each their own. But we want to talk about the treasure website. Okay, there's some evidence, some at least some circumstantial evidence that could be in play and could be legit. That's sure. We want to talk about maybe Jack found it in April or in 2019. Sure, that's legit. But these way out there things, no, no, no. That they've known each other. The stuff Greg brought out that Fenn, Preston, and Jack were all together in Michigan. What? Come on. In 2020. I mean, Forrest could barely walk by that point. He's out flying out to Michigan and having lunch or whatever with Preston and Jack. I mean, that's insanity. You know, that's the stuff that drives me nuts. The extreme. Yeah, fantastic. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we're left with the cloud of uncertainty. I mean, you watch movies or TV shows, and then someone leaves a video from beyond the grave or something. Man, why couldn't Forrest done that? Why couldn't he have made a video for his lawyer to release or his estate or whatever, right? Uh, is it possible he left a video and the family saw it and said, "Screw this, we're not going to show it"? Is that possible? Uh, just seems like he's a pilot. He made sure things were taken care of. We see it with the chase, and then for the ending to be so messed up, just why? Why he still had 2 months, so or 3 months, right? June 6th to September 7th, July, August, September. So, and even in that time frame, nothing happened. He could have taken an hour and made a video to leave for us. He could have, you know, I mean, it was probably purposeful. I mean, maybe Forrest wanted this cloud of uncertainty. So we'd be right here a year later talking about it. I don't know. Oh, Holly, what are we talking about the names on the are we talking about the names on the property? Yeah. I mean, it's not even spelled right, first of all, you know. I mean, it's Anderson with an O. That's just so out there. I mean, And then there was something about the pattern of the homes matched something else. I don't know. So then why the delay? It doesn't make sense. I mean, I don't know. I mean, the whole cluster nature of the ending to me is evidence that Forrest was not part of any type of conspiracy, right? Because you got to think about it. If you're going to try to pull the wool over someone's eyes with this humongous conspiracy, you're going to have it all planned out and all your I's dotted and T's crossed. And this is just a cluster. That just leads me to believe that Forrest had no idea that Jack was going to find that chest when he did. I mean, that would lead me to believe that if Jack found it in 2019, like I said earlier, he never told Forrest because Forrest would have prepared the stuff. You gotta believe he would have prepared everything. Instead, we're left with this bag of crap. I do have to say. Hints to the bronze jars, Seamus. I have no idea where to even start with that. Um, good luck, man. That's all I can tell you. I mean, those are made to not be found. I mean, we couldn't find something that was made to be found for 10 years. So you got the guts to go after that and the talk about tenacity. Man, good luck. Uh, but I can't do it. I mean, this search took it all out of me. I can't do any other search. I've tried a couple little ones. And I just no interest, man. I'm more interested still in this that has no prize than these other ones that have some prizes left. That's how much this screwed with me. The waiter is Chief Little Turtle, and the paperboy is Buffalo Bill Cody. Maybe. I mean, I don't know. Oh, another reason, another hint in Yellowstone to me is when he talks about the Fifth Little Chase bringing Skippy home, and he had to bribe two Mexican officials to get him home. I think that's a nod to paying two rangers to enter the park, right? Paying to get into the park. Just my perception. Yeah, no, that's fine. That's fine, Gedelkin. I want everyone to put their thoughts out. I don't care if they're against mine or not, as long as we're having a decent discussion, somewhat cordial. I don't even care if you get a little upset. Let's not cross at the line. I don't care what you guys say here. Buck, what's interesting? Paying the guards, is that the one? Yeah, I mean, I think there's no way it was outside Yellowstone. And again, you go to April 2019, you're limited onto what roads were open at that point. So, I mean, if not the Madison, where else we're going to look? I know some people had some solves around Mammoth, some around Oho, Old Faithful, over Lamar. Alan Kelly stands out. Lamar, that's a spot. Soda Butte, myself. I know Wave Seeker was around here further down. A couple other people. I like getting mad at myself. I'm not a tax expert, fantastic, but I know for certain Puerto Rico is a much more favorable tax structure than we have here. I have family that moved there just for that purpose, and we know Jack certainly moved there, or filed for tax shelter over there. I mean, unless you want to believe there's another Jonathan K. Stoof that happened to go to Puerto Rico at the same time. Solid hints. Well, what you got, Seamus? Let us know, man. Davey B, what's up? Yeah, Davey, I've heard that a lot about the court cases. I mean, these are whack jobs, right? And what are you waiting for? I mean, court case can be brought at any time. So as soon as one goes, I could file a new one. So I don't know if necessarily that's the reason. I mean, it could be, but I'm not convinced that that's the reason. I mean, that could go on for a few more years. Forget statute of limitations, doesn't matter. People can file stuff whenever they want. Seamus, you let the cat out of the bag. Hey, don't worry, nobody listens to anybody in here anyways, so you're safe. I hope you find those jars. And see, that's the thing. You could be 100% right, but not a single person is going to go check out what you said, probably. And I don't say that in a mean way to you, but that's just how our community is, right? I mean, I've asked people to check out that rectangle on page 99, not a peep from anyone. I mean, what are you going to do? It's the Pecos, Hooli, I think, or Rio Chama. It was in New Mexico, that picture. It was the very early scrapbook. I think it was like the second or third one. Well, look, you gotta say the chase is never boring, man. We got all kinds of characters here. Crazy, not crazy, funny, all kinds. Deaf ears are a good thing. Yeah, right. I mean, back before the find, I never said peep about my solution. The most I would say was that it was in Wyoming. I never said anything else. Ah, Minotaur. See, that is the question, right? The one where he said, if anyone can tell me this, I got a special surprise for you. Well, I always thought that was by the spot. And, nothing for nothing, but, that bottom clear with rocks, that's what we got here at Soda Butte. But it could be anywhere down, obviously, I know that kind of bottom is prevalent throughout. I don't know about that. Fantastic. Get a premium from Jack since he likely had a fiduciary duty to maximize the value. Well, fiduciary duty, how? What duty does he owe to anybody? I'm a little bit, I'm not clear on what you're saying. Fantastic. I mean, if he found the chest, duties to nobody. No scrapbooks, Buck? Oh, well. All right. You're not the only one. Plenty of people who don't read the scrapbooks. Yeah, it does say that, Seamus. But he also took the Firehole River out of his Flywater chapter in the book. It's hard to imagine someone wrote 250 scrapbooks just because he wanted to write. I just don't buy it. And I mean, I think it's, we know he had mentioned there's hints in Once Upon a While, and that Once Upon a While is only scrapbooks. So there's definitely hints in scrapbooks. Not to mention, we know for sure one of them, recent ones, he wrote in there that the chest was nowhere associated with the Buffalo Bill Museum. So that's a hint right there. Yeah, what at the Honey Hole Minotaur? Yeah, they said it was filled with fish. I mean, okay, I'm sure it's not the only spot in Yellowstone that's like that. Um, You know, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I know the area, but I haven't been into the Madison there. Dare you to put it in a glass and give it a salt sprinkle? What, buttermilk? I mean, look, if someone could come up with a decent court case, right? It'd have to be well pled and it'd have to be pretty strong. I don't know how that would happen, but they could get it, the solution out of them if it was a decent case. But the problem is, I don't think anybody has a decent case, right? You have a decent case, you survive a motion to dismiss, then you can go into discovery, and if it's relevant to your claim, you can get that information. But the problem is, I don't think anyone has a claim that makes it really hard. uh Gedelkin, I don't know. Is the French one still active, or did that get dismissed? I think there's another one because Barb was talking about filing a notice of to intervene, a motion to intervene in one of the cases recently. I don't know if that one's still going. Uh, she said she was going to intervene, help them, but that's a whole. I'm not getting into that. I mean, anyone that believes it's in New Mexico, Colorado, or Minnesota, or sorry, Montana, got no time. Sorry, it's not a legitimate discussion, at least from my point of view. And I'm not trying to be a jerk. I'm just that's how I feel. Yeah, I mean, look, whatever you think about Barbara, you got to give it to her. She is the impetus that got us the information about Jack. No doubt about that. So, I was surprised that they didn't appeal that ruling. They could have fought it a bit harder, but did not. But yeah, you got to give her credit. She did get the name, get us Jack Stoof, for better or for worse. But her story. I mean, whatever happened to that? The whole premise of the lawsuit was that someone sent her threatening texts and then stole her solution. Whatever happened to those threatening texts was, she says that she realized they were playing a prank on her, but was the prank the text part of the prank also, or just the solution? I don't know. It was confusing. Gene, she blocked you. Barb blocked you from her channel. Get out of here, man. I mean, I know I'm blocked. I don't know. I don't never really say anything to her. I don't think. I mean, she's one of those I named in my video. She rants and raves about people just because they don't agree with her solution. Calls them idiots and assholes and all kinds of stuff. I mean, you know who doesn't agree with her solution? Everybody. Everybody. I mean, and those people, Shy Guy was doing it. And then you got this dude, Dave from back east. Oh, I talked about him in my last video. Dave from back east confirmed to me that he stole a cross off a roadside memorial. Okay, this guy, because the cross had the names Kent and Esther, he thinks Kent and Esther means canasta. Kent Esther canasta. So he thinks Forrest put the memorial, the cross at that memorial. Meanwhile, these poor people that set up the memorial for their loved ones, and I don't know if it was people that died or pets, but either way, it doesn't matter. These people go back to lay flowers, and all of a sudden their loved one's cross is gone. I mean, what the hell is that? That's pathetic. I mean, it's really upsetting, really upsetting. Um, so yeah, that's what we got out there, and he's another New Mexico one. So it seems like the most out there ones are in New Mexico. Why is that? What's with New Mexico? I don't get that. Um, you know, the loudest people are out of state. What I don't understand why that is. It's strange to me, but whatever. What do I know? Uh, welcome to the club, G. Yeah, yeah, I know, right? Yeah, she blocked me. I actually got another account. She blocked me on that one too. Whatever. I've been blocked by worse or by better, however you look at it. Toby, he blocked me. Another New Mexico searcher. Telling you, man, those New Mexico searchers are feisty. Watch out. I mean, I don't know who's going to that camp out. Is anyone going or when it's at? Do we know when the solution is going to be revealed or when the prank's going to be over? I don't know. I'd like to know. All right, I'll stop that now. Uh, some people haven't come to understand the beauty of letting go. I agree, Seamus, but I can't let go, my friend. I can't. And there's 20 people in here. I mean, if they're, if you guys are watching my channel, this is the bottom of the first stream. I don't have a whole lot to say, but apparently I do. I've been going for an hour, so I'm surprised by that. All right, Minotaur. Hey, thanks for coming by. Enjoyed it. Yeah, Seamus. None of us here let go. Some can't, some don't want to. You know, it's a lot of time invested, a lot of emotion. And if nothing else, we just want to see the ending, right? I mean, it's like walking out of a movie with 10 minutes left. You're not going to do that. You want to see the ending, except if, unfortunately, our 10 minutes might be 10 years. Yeah, Buck, I signed out like December 30th and quit making videos and backed off almost completely, really. I mean, I may have watched a couple of, Christie's shows here and there, maybe a Candy show, something like that, but I was out. And I something got me back in, and slowly I started getting back into it. Now, a lot's been happening with the 9 Mile Hole and all this stuff, and with the Nook and the GPS. So I'm back in. But you're Team Wyoming. Oh yeah, right. I am Team Wyoming. Yeah, I got you about letting go. Yeah, I understand. Yeah, I mean, right. Yeah, I mean, it's okay to be wrong. Everyone was wrong. I mean, so you're in New Mexico. I mean, no one else cares, but I guess it's hard to admit to themselves that we don't care, right? We could have easily been in the wrong state. It would be, yeah. I mean, the ending stinks, Salamander. I agree. I would love to get some answers. Doesn't Jack's refusal to give up the spot, doesn't that tarnish the legacy of Forrest some? I mean, it makes him look bad, right? If he's holds Forrest in such high regard, wouldn't you'd think he wouldn't want him to look bad? But all this has done is spur on these conspiracies and what's Forrest done wrong and all this stuff. I don't know. I don't know. You think Jack wouldn't want that? But at the end of the day, Jack's looking out for Jack, right? I mean, can we? I don't know if we can blame him. Again, I've said it. If I had to lie to keep that chest or to protect myself and my family, I'd lie. I mean, sure. Seamus, that's a good point. Forrest said that a lot, right? I'd like to affect the future. I mean, the thing is though, Seamus, when does that happen, right? I mean, it's one thing we said that back in June or last June or maybe even after he passed. Now we're here, over a year after Forrest passed, and nothing, man. Would I tell? My thought when I was thinking it through was not at first, but I would have eventually, but maybe a year or so, or as soon as I sold it. Uh, maybe I would have ended up being quiet. I would have given out more info though. Like I would have said what the blaze was. I would have, and yeah, maybe I would have said where I found it. I don't know. My plan was to definitely do so eventually. I was never gonna like keep it secret forever. No, that never would have happened. I would have told it. Never in Wyoming. No, Gene. He swore in court or in a declaration filed with the court that it was in Wyoming. You think he committed perjury? See, that's calling Fenn a felon. Yeah, yeah, Shay, this could be it. You shooting for next summer. Yeah, that's pretty hopeful, bud. I mean, I think if we're gonna play by dates, I think December. I had September 22nd or 23rd in mind. Notice my whole thing about the last day of summer, and the Medium article. The first one was put out September 23rd. So, but anyways, my thought was December 7th. We have the email to Dale on December 7th. We have Jack being outed on December 7th, Pearl Harbor Day. So maybe December 7th we get something else. I don't know. Sparky, I don't know. I mean, Barbarisi said, and this is something people gloss over a lot, but Barbarisi said that Jack told him, in all honesty, he didn't really have a full solve. And we've glossed over that. I mean, we haven't heard much talk about that. So, Sparky, you're absolutely right. It seems he didn't have a complete solve. Now, I don't know if he stole someone's spot. You got to think whoever else was in that area, me, would have been tight-lipped because that person also would have known it was the right area. So I don't know if the solve would have been out there for him to steal, right? I mean, I guess it could have been, but I just think whoever had the correct solve would know it and would never have put out anything about it, right? Just like he wouldn't have been talking about the Madison because he would have known that it was correct. Yet he talked about the Madison. That's why I think it's wrong. Forrest had no reason to lie to anyone. Seamus, I'd like that's I don't know that may be a little idealistic. I think he probably lied a little bit, but I think when it came to the hunt and the location of chess, he was pretty true, right? I don't think he wanted to taint it. I think he wanted to keep it as honest as it could be. That's why you saw him coming out and giving, the example everyone uses when he told someone in private about a dam not being part of the clues. He felt the need to tell everybody publicly, and I think that was the idea. I think he tried to keep it as fair as possible. I think anything told that dip your toe in it was BS. Not meaning Christie's lying. I mean, it didn't mean anything. Absolutely nothing. I mean, Salamander, yeah. I mean, there's a lot. There are definitely things Jack could do that would neither, you know, harm him or imperil the location. There are definitely things he could have done. Pictures of the chest next to a newspaper, pictures of him going through it in an unmarked room. I mean, there's all kinds of things he could have done, and he could have told us more information, and he's refused to do that. Again, was the blaze a tree or a rock? How in the world is that going to be a problem? Him telling us. Finn follows, making sure. Sure, Lou. Let's hear it, bud. Oh, I'd like to hear it. Jack figured out the last clue when he found the chest. Charge of perjury down the road. That's not, but Delkin, I don't think it's about that, man. I think it's about integrity and doing the right thing. I think for the most part he tried to do that, and when it came to the chase, definitely. Um, well, I just have to disagree, man. Uh, yeah, many searchers took Forrest jokes too seriously. That's a certainty, Salamander. I agree. Yes, it's a tree struck by lightning, Seamus. I'm telling you, man. Absolutely. The pen marker in scrapbook 107, that felt marker that has the cap off and next laying next to it in a V shape. To me, that represents two logs. One, the long pen marker is the down tree. The cap represents another log that's at the location at the same angle. The marker, you follow the tree, look quickly down, you go down the tree, which is pointing west. It ends at the stump that it broke off from. That's where the chest is. It's precise. It leads you directly to a spot. People say everyone say it could be precise. That's how it's precise. If you follow a down tree to the stump it broke off from, and it's inside that stump, that's your precision. Two middle fingers. It was struck by lightning, the tree. I mean, guys, oh, I'm going to be quiet. All right. And if you're not convicted, is it really a crime? Look at all the states that allow marijuana use offense don't prosecute. I mean, that's hey, fantastic. That's fine. I don't, I just gonna have to disagree. I believe it was in Wyoming, so I don't know. Double omegas on a down lodgepole pine. It's definitely down lodgepole pine struck by lightning, hollowed out. Um, no, Lucy, no, I did not consider that, man. The two bitty. Oh, and here in my solution, okay, the dead tree was originally standing next to another tree of similar size. Okay, so there were two trees there. So the two can keep a secret if one of them's dead. It's not about humans, it's about the trees. One tree's dead, and that one has the chest. One can keep the secret. There you go. Heard it here first. All right. No place for biddies, Seamus. An example of zero population growth. The tall one, right? Something like that. What about that scrapbook, Athletic Addie, the golfing girl? It was that Arm& Hammer's daughter. Athletic Addie had a broken back fusion. Are you kidding me? Really? And in her right hand, he placed a fetish that she hold tight. He told her, "You got to have faith." Guys, if that's not the chess story, or not the story of the chess, but a description of the final spot, I don't know what it is. It's the down tree is Athletic Addie's broken back, like the broken tree stump, and the in the hand is the fetish, just like the stump is holding the chest. A diamond? I don't know. I mean, I don't know. It's a broken tree and a stump, guys. This is almost a certainty. I don't want to get too cocky sounding, but I mean, this is what I was worried about, because since I'm not searching or trying to figure anything out, I didn't want it to be solely me debunking people. So I'm trying my best not to do that and let everyone speak and give their opinions and what they think. Force do what needs to be done. Yeah, I mean, I understand where you're coming from, Godelkin. I just don't agree, man. I understand what you're saying. He's a maverick, and he's going to die, and who cares? And I understand all that, and they're valid points, but I just look. I don't think he would have done it. That's all. It takes looking at the exceptions to instead of the rules to agree with these conspiracy theories. That's what Occam razor is. Don't count on the exceptions. Usually the rule is what's happening here. And the rule is force when allied in court. That's my rule. And I believe that. What else, guys? Any topic you guys want to talk about? I mean, I'll hang out for a while if you want. No, it's a Wyoming ethics law. Oh, and here I'll give you another theory I have about the final spot. Everybody lies in court. Oh, Gadelka, that's not true, my man. That's a very cynical view. It's very cynical. Everybody is a very wide brush you're painting with there. So what do you guys think about this? So since I believe it's all tied to Vietnam, you know how the parachute got caught in the tree? Well, I think there was something there that we had to see. And it may have been the actual, well, no, not the blaze, but the thing marking the treasure. Remember in the chest, you see all that fishing line, that nylon? I had a theory that that was outside of the chest, maybe draped over a tree branch or something, representing the parachute uh, that he uh, that he lost in Vietnam. Right? Remember, he had said the chest was a bomb. He didn't know it had a fuse. That line could have been the fuse, right? Symbolically, the fuse that led to the chest. So you'd find the line, and then you follow that line to the chest, which was in the tree stump. And he also had mentioned how he believes in the principle of leave only footprints, take nothing, leave only footprints. But that's not to say he might not have a back cast of a line stuck in a tree, right? I think that might have been a hint. So I think that fishing line that you see inside the chest in those photographs may be part of that. I don't know, parachute. And there was also scrapbooks at the end where he would say, the one that jumps to mind is I think 217 maybe, where he has the wine arbor and it's some graded fencing on the left side. And he says, yeah, you can see the grapes climbing up. It's hard to see, but it's there nonetheless. He used that line in two scrapbooks very close together in that scrapbook dump. So I thought that kind of made sense with the fishing line saying, hey, it's there, but you got to really look for it. I don't know. It is the Yellowstone. Lucy. Predator hunting grounds. All right, Seamus. Thanks for stopping by, man. Have a good night. All right. Anyone else want to chat about anything? I'm open to chat. I'm kind of running out of stuff to say. I mean, I don't want to, all I got to talk about really is my solution or ragging on 9 Mile Hole. And I think we did enough ragging on 9 Mile Hole tonight. But I'll rag some more if you guys bring up any topics or anything else about the chase you want to talk about, people or ideas that are out there. Godelkin, exactly. He explained in his court story, he was upset that he couldn't tell the entire truth. So he told the judge, Judge, if I'm not able to tell the whole truth, I'll have to withdraw my oath. So he's telling you how seriously he takes that oath, right? So I think that supports my position. I don't know. Start finding a jar. Good luck, man. I hope you find one. um, let's see. Guys, we're slowing down here. Any other topics out there? Lucy, it has a name donor. It is the Yellowstone. Google Golden Eye Diamond. Is that like a James Bond movie? Golden Eye. Golden Eye Diamond. All right, I'll Google it. I'll play along. Let's see. What does it say? Flawless, 43 and a half carat, fancy intense yellow diamond. Claimed by one of its past owners to be the world's largest of its cut and color. It is believed to come from the Kimberley area of South Africa. Okay, not sure exactly how that helps. Is the number 43 what you're pointing out, Lou?
Right, so here's Fiona.
I don't know. I don't know what about the diamonds that you're trying to point out? The name Golden Eye? It sold at auction September of 2011 for 2.8 million. It was seized at an investigation of car dealerships. A place suspected of laundering drug money. I don't know. Dale Neitzel. Hey, what's Dale doing? I know his name's Dale Neitzel, but for some reason I can't stop calling him Dale Neitzel either. Poor Forrest or poor Dale couldn't have Forrest call him you say his name right for all those years. Let's see. I haven't looked on the blog here for a long time. Anything new? Uh MK2, the last video interview part two. When did you post that? I think that was a while ago. Oh, Friday. Did anyone look at that video? Is there anything good in there? I didn't watch it. I assume I would have heard something if it was anything, any new revelation or anything. Lucy, why so quiet about it? Are you a hider of information, my friend? man, I gotta give Candy credit. I don't know how she keeps this going for 7 hours, 8 hours. Well, I guess she has a lot more people in there, so it makes it easier. But really, yeah, yeah, he was getting older there. I mean, I thought the same thing, Huli, when during the interviews with K Pro and Cal and Cynthia. I mean, two of the biggest things he forgot about. One of his quotes, he forgot imagination is more important than knowledge. I mean, that's like big, and he just forgot it. And there was something else in there too that he forgot that I was a bit surprised about. I can't remember now, but yeah, I mean, his memory was failing. He was 90. What are you going to do? I mean, that's just the way it goes. But yeah, it was sad. All right, guys. You guys are losing your chattiness. The spot's pretty nice, isn't it? Huh? I like it. See, not somewhere where people usually go, but yet, you know, not far from civilization either. But that was actually I looked the date on the interview says October. That was actually before Christie's interview, right? Hers was November, if I recall correctly. 30 minutes. His instrument panel. Right, exactly. Salamander alone. Secluded. Yeah. I was there quite a few times, never saw a soul. Saw bison, saw a bear, moose around there. Yeah, he does look pretty. He looks old in that video for sure. I'll look at that some other time. Yeah. Yeah, definitely not. He definitely lost some sharpness for sure. Well, guys, seems that everyone's slowed down a little bit. Maybe a break out of here. Um, well, thanks for coming by. I really this was fun for my first Zoom. I enjoyed it, so maybe I'll do it again. Um, Last chance. Anything else? Anybody else got something they want to say before we go? Look at the original Thrill the Chase blog. 7/7. That's Cal's birthday, isn't it? Don't ask me why I remember that. but I do. Yeah, Gene, thanks for coming by. Appreciate it. And thanks for everyone sticking around and participating. It was fun. All right, guys, have a good night. And I don't know, maybe someone else will go live for everyone. All right. Thanks. Take care.